Welcome everyone, I am the Depressed Eeyore and this is Langrisser Mobile. Alright, it's another month, so new banner. This one I do have some interest in. Of course got King of the Red Moon, which is a new Rainforce, and then Sissy White, which is a new, very kind of unique support healer type. But before we dive into that and see how bad my luck is, Secret Realm store had some new stuff. The new equipment for this month is the Windstriker Crown for Luna, which is decent, but I prefer her other helmet, which actually increases her M defense, or her M defense when she's attacking. What's she using right now? Where is she? There she is. Yeah, so I would end up giving up a little bit of M defense, which in turn is her where she gets most of her attack power from, in exchange for a +1 increased range for her talent aura and her command aura, which can be kind of useful. Also, the other benefit is that she actually can be a little bit more supporty, so it's actually not too bad. Yeah, she can essentially give 2 allies increased damage dealt for 1 turn. Unfortunately, it's only within 1 block, and since she's usually going to be moving into a position to help everyone else move, it's probably a little hard to use in most cases. And then her other equipment, which I've already purchased, was the Moon Crystal Armor. And this is for Helena, and it is amazing. Essentially what it does is every time she takes an action, she'll automatically put her special little crystals on that she puts on the train. She'll put that within 1 ring of herself. Also, when she's on her own special little crystal terrain, she takes reduced damage and she restores HP every time she's attacked or takes damage, which is really good. It makes her a little bit, definitely makes her a very decent bruiser, and the fact that she can trigger that on action makes it so whenever she uses Chivalry, she actually can go further than the 3 spaces, simply because she ignores movement costs when she goes across her own crystals. So she can get anywhere from an extra 1 to 2 spaces of movement for her Chivalry now, which can make it it can make it a little difficult for people to actually realize how far she can move. Also, since anytime you spawn terrain underneath somebody, it'll automatically take effect. Using things like a combination of Chivalry, her AoE passive, as well as her 3-cost AoE, she can apply her very unique debuffs like multiple times very quickly, which can be very useful for getting rid of crystal barriers or just to debilitate your opponent. So really cool. Definitely makes Helena a little bit more viable. In fact, she was pretty much a bit of a star in some of the latest Chinese matches in Apex. So I may consider using her because I haven't actually used her, and I just got her to 6 stars. So we'll see. And then since she has Chivalry, I can kind of use her Alpha banner pretty easily. Anyway, also we do have new awakenings. Our newest awakenings are, I know one of them's Yulia. Yeah, so one is Yulia. I think there's one other, but I don't remember. Nope, just Yulia, and then of course Sissy White, because she's the new character. Yeah, it looks like it's just Yulia. I don't see any other blanks. Alright, so with all that said and done, let's go ahead and dive into the summons. I do not need King of the Red Moon at all. He's not needed for any bonds or anything like that. So all I really need is Sissy White. I do have 2 of these little crystals here. So worst case scenario, I should be able to get Sissy White within 300 summons, regardless. I'm hoping not to rely on 300 summons, but my luck has been, I mean, on my past banner it was really good, and I had some pretty decent luck with equipment. I today's random drops for SSR gear. I ended up getting a 10 years robe, a Twilight Star, and a what's it called, Overlord's badge. So that's probably a sign that I'm using up all my luck already. So with all that said, let's go ahead and dive right into this. I only want one Sissy White. I don't really need more than one. The reason why is because I don't really intend on using Sissy White until much later, when Christiane comes out. Okay, right off the bat, huh? Okay, we're done. Alright, we're done. I have no complaints about this. This actually is a very good situation to be in. Next banner is a collab banner, which has Kayura, or also known as Not Jessica. And yeah, she's going to be a magic assassin, which I definitely am interested in getting. So, Federation Financial Chief, the daughter of a rich businessman, and a business genius in her own right. Okay. We're done. I'm not going to complain. So the reason why, like I mentioned, I don't intend on using her until at least I get Christiane, who's a princess tank that actually is a faction buffer, which some people in my comments have mentioned if I was looking forward to her, which I am. I definitely, when Christiane comes out, I'm definitely gonna have to make some decisions on what exactly I want to do for my Apex box, because originally I had to rely heavily on what I was given, because female faction buffers were kind of few and far between when I initially started this. Now it's getting to the point where I can actually make choices about what sort of factions I want to play around with, because more faction buffs are available to me now, or will be available to me in the future. So, and the other thing, I actually made like I did some stuff like on a spreadsheet and stuff to kind of see what sort of team I can make with Christiane, and then I saw a post about Freya's 3C that comes out a month after, and it's essentially everything I want in a 3C for Freya, which is essentially a better faction buff. And so I may actually stick with Origins. Either way, so kind of a bunch of choices to kind of go through. Anyway, just to kind of show what Sissy White can do at the moment. I'll go off screen to go ahead and level up her in a bit, but for right now I'll just talk about her talent. All soldier stats excluding HP increased by 10%. At the start of each turn, gain 1 war coin, stacking up to 10. Before the end of the action phase, cast 1 extra summon skill, summon Mercenary Lancer, Infantry, Cavalry. Cooldown for the summon is 2 turns. Yeah, it's very, very unique. She's very similar to. She has some similarities to Florentia, who uses her was it strategies or whatever they are called. Now, the only thing that makes Sissy White a little bit more awkward to use. I mean, it's kind of a trade-off. Florentia can only really get her special currency either from having a faction buff at the end of her turn, or if she has a certain passive equipped, she can get 1 for every kill that happens. Sissy White gets her coin at the start of every round, regardless. She only gains 1 unless she has 6 stars, and once she gains 2. And then there's only like 1 or 2 other ways she can get her coins. One of them is she gets refunded a coin whenever her summon dies, so she essentially gets 50% of the cost back. The other is her 3C, which can apply a buff where if they, I think if they get kills, it'll provide some coins for Sissy White as well. The thing that makes this UI a little bit more awkward as far as her special currency is concerned is the only thing she can do with her currency after her turn is the summons. And then everything else that would actually use the currency are actually skills, which of course you only have so many skill slots that are available. Her 3C uses anywhere from 5 to 1 coins, depending on what buff she picks. And then she has a bunch of other effects, skills that also can potentially use coins that apply kind of unique effects. Like one of them is an AoE heal that gives plus mobility. There's another one that destroys all a target's troops, just takes out their entire troops. And then there's one that I think essentially is like applies a bounty on a target that will make it so they take more damage. And that one I believe has a global range. Anyway, give me a moment. When we come back, I will have her fully built up. Alright, 13 million gold later, I'm done. So, let's go ahead and go over our skills. So she does have the basic healer stuff. She has single target and area heal. She actually has access to mass attack, which is always nice. Seems like a lot of the recent female characters have been getting a lot of the mass attack or strengthen spells, which is really helpful. Now you might notice there's these here. On the icons themselves, it actually shows how much currency it costs. In this case, bounty costs 2, and it's essentially a global range, single target, increased damage taken debuff, and it lasts forever. So yeah, kind of interesting. Then we got Dismiss, which costs 3 coins, has a range of 4, kills all enemy soldiers. Just kills them all. Ignores immunity entirely. Same thing for this debuff, it ignores all immunity and can't be dispelled. And then the last one is cost 3, and it is an area heal. Is it the same strength? It's a weaker area heal. Dispels debuffs, but increases mobility by 1. It also grants immunity to mobility reduction. It also applies an additional buff to summon units, which is plus 20% damage dealt. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Soldiers wise, she actually has a decent variety. She has access to phalanx. She actually has access to sorceresses, which I'm going to go ahead and switch to, just because I'm going to be awakening her soon. And then gear wise, as far as classes, your choices are pretty much just you can either be a mage or you can be holy. Tactician has lower skill but higher defenses. Other than that, they're practically the same. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I didn't expect to get this within the first 10 pull. Like I said, I don't intend on using her until Christiane comes out, and that's not for a few months. I'll actually have enough time to get her to 6 stars by then. So, yeah, unfortunately, I will not be able to use her for Apex for a little while, mainly because her factions are just not something that works with my box right now. We're talking Glory and Princess right now. Anyway, I'll go ahead and call it here, and I'll make another video doing the Awakenings. I am the Depressed Eater. This was Langrisser Mobile. See you guys later.